Liverpool v everybody. Just it's about 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. here, stateside. Still up, thinking about the game, watching some stuff back. Um, Ended up looking on social media just because you end up going on social media, knowing what would be said. And honestly, I didn't really. I mean, I saw some negative things, of course, but I see a lot of people pointing out the negatives and like, oh, why is everybody? Look, this is fandom. This is what a fanatic. This is who we are. It is what it is. And people start talking about who's a real supporter and who's not, and everybody has an opinion. That's what we love about football. That's what we should love about football. Not everybody's going to agree with what your opinion is, what my opinion is, with whoever you guys who are watching, what the opinion is. So it's always amazing to me. Like I was listening to Copish earlier, and shout out to those dudes, but this almost kind of being triggered by people who have agendas. This is what it is. And, we've been spoiled. And, Liverpool and City have set a bar in this league that I don't know if ever has been set before between two teams. The amount of points that you have to average now. I mean, the idea that we can go top at this time in the season on goal difference, but top, and it be an issue. The idea that a draw with Spurs, which isn't an awful result, but because it's so tight, it feels that way. It's just different levels right now. And not as an excuse, but we're playing a lot of football. We're literally playing every game that is possible to play. I don't know when the last time that's happened, or if it has happened. Somebody can let me know. But there's a lot of mileage in those legs, man. At the end of the day, these dudes are human. I don't know how much time Spurs had to prepare, but I'm sure it was much more than ours. And again, it's not an excuse. They still couldn't beat us, and it still wasn't like they dominated the game or anything like that. They played a style of football. Their tactic was a tactic that was obvious. I mean, that was what they were going to do. They're fighting to get top four. They have their own goals to get. And the best way the manager sees fit is the way they're going to do it. So I don't really love, Klopp saying that I don't like this kind of football. And it's okay for him to share that, but it looks as though like you didn't know this was going to happen in terms of how they would play. And year on year, we talk about ways that we can improve this team in terms of having players in the game who can make something happen. That's what a Thiago is for, last I checked. We have creative players all over the pitch. Our fullbacks, we talk about them, the assists that they get, how amazing Trent can be, Robbo. Diaz is a creative player. Salah's got, double digits assists, I believe, doesn't he? So, I mean, you got to get past it. For me, and I don't think this one game, I know some people will say, oh, this is the reason why we still need a Coutinho type player and da da da. There's a lot of factors. We're playing a lot of games. And, I think instead Klopp should look at, maybe his poor decision and bringing players on, to be honest. I think, why isn't Origi coming in this game? Why? Someone needs to tell me why Origi's on. Until I saw a tweet from I forget the guy's name. A former correspondent with Liverpool. I can't believe I'm missing his name right now. But until he said Origi, I think he tweeted out a question. Origi on at whatever minute ? Because I was assuming that Origi didn't even make the bench. But when you see that he made the bench, why does he? How come he's not coming on? Love Naby to death. And when all is said and done, we can look back at that goal. Hopefully, if we win the league, that he scores against Newcastle, and just overall, I think his presence this season has been. It feels like the best we've seen of Naby, the most consistent we've seen of Naby. Hasn't had anywhere near as many games off, knocks, injuries, and things of that nature. But in a game like this, you bring Origi on. All of those crosses that went in, some of them are really high, and Diogo and Mane are good in the air. But if you have Origi in there, I think it gives you a better threat, in that situation, in those situations, because it was just a bunch of crosses and sometimes they weren't hitting the man, sometimes they were just going the wrong spot. If you have that target man with that height, that presence, that just gives you something different. So I don't love when Klopp comes out and says this, whether it be Atletico Madrid or any team that, in Europe or any team in the league, that some of these teams, that is the way they can get something out of the game. And Spurs needed something. They would have wanted to get 3 points as much as we did. But I think a draw is a result that, you can walk away and say, okay, cool. We stopped this team from doing what they want to do. We frustrated them. And along the way, we got an important point, and we kept them from possibly accomplishing what they want to accomplish. So you can't really look at, and then people complain about the time waste. Look, at this point, as a Liverpool supporter, you have to realize that teams are going to literally try everything they can to beat us. Unless they have a manager who has a squad who believes they can go toe to toe for us. You think City, Chelsea, that's probably it. This is what you're gonna get. This is what you're gonna get. And they got what they got something out of the game. I don't know if I can say they got what they wanted. They definitely didn't lose, and I think that was sort of the mantra coming in. We can't lose this game. Let's try to frustrate them, see if we can get out of it, catch them on the break. They did that, but to me, I don't. It reminds me of the stuff about the weather. Look, to say, and Klopp did say this, to say that there's a lot of games and this happens in the preparation, that's just what it is. That's true. But to knock another coach's, another manager's or squad's approach to the game, I mean, if as a supporter you can see that coming, surely as a manager you do. And what you do is try to make decisions to change that, and again, we made our luck to get that goal. So that people can call that whatever. We made our luck. I mean, Klopp even talked about trying to put those shots in to get ricochets, bounces, nicks off their players, whatever it works, because they were throwing all types of bodies and everything in it. So today was a game where you understood the shots from distance. And that wasn't, at least I did, and that wasn't an issue for me because anything can happen from that. You can get a rebound. If what happened can happen, it did. Ricochet get the goal. But I'm just proud we didn't lose this game, and we didn't totally sort of feel like we removed ourselves from the possibilities of winning this league. I know that's an opinion that's not shared from everybody. Obviously, lots of people think it's over, but I mean, listen, no matter what, this has been an incredible season. We got to continue to enjoy it. The trophies that we won are all still there. They're all still there. This one, it looks not as good as it did going in. I'll say that, of course. But, yeah, I just wanted to come back on and just talk about that, man. Look, these guys are, for me, and I also think, even Simicast, I think, should be playing more games. He should be playing more games. I think he came on and gave us a little bit of just a little bit more energy, and I just think he's a really, really good player and loves playing for this Liverpool team. And I just think he needs more time. We all know about the right back situation. It's time now. It's time to get a right back in there that can not even necessarily compete for the position, but just a guy that we can turn to and say, and I like Gomez there when he plays. I really do. And if that's going to be what it is, okay. But we got to give those guys a bit more rest, man. It's way too many games to be playing. These dudes are tired. I mean, and again, all that to say, and we still didn't lose the game. We still found a way to stay in the game and be in the game throughout. In a frustrating way when you watch it, because it just felt like just things weren't clicking. But, it's still a long way to go. At least it feels like. I know it's only 4 games, whatever it is, but that in football terms, that's still a little ways to go, and a lot of things can happen still. A lot of things can happen, man, on these final match days. So, people are gonna have their opinions. People are gonna think that, scapegoat, and people are saying, "Oh, Salah was talking tough," and then Salah said that he wanted to play Madrid. Said that he had goals. He had goals that he wanted to reach. Other than that, it's not like he was saying, or we're gonna win every game. I'm gonna score a hat trick in every game. So people are funny, but that's fans. We get upset and we show that disappointment. We have different ways that we show that. Nothing wrong with that. That's what it is. It amazes me that people are so shocked by it. And these are the things that happen. You know, when we spoiled like that, and probably particularly younger fans, we've been spoiled like this for the last few seasons under Klopp. And like one, sort of unsatisfactory result could just take your whole, you just lose your whole head. But that's what it is. That's what we do as fans. We are fanatics. And some of the fanatic in us goes really far right. Some of it goes really far left. But at the end of the day, we all got opinions, and I just want to come back on and talk about it a bit more. And I'm still very, very optimistic. Obviously, it does change things a bit. It's even more of, oh God, what can these teams do against City? But everything's still there to play for. Everything is still there to play for. People saying that with the season ends and the only trophy we have is the cup trophy. That's the reality. That's possible, of course, in football. We can lose the rest of the games in the Premier League. We can not win another game the rest of the season. All these things are possible. But obviously, this result is going to upset some dudes in the dressing room. And, just got to change it around. But again, for me today, it was just about some of the decision making. Because we did a lot of things really good. And that's what I feel like I hope people can, beyond the result, I just thought we were amazing, and that the counter press and the pressing, it was so good. It's just unfortunate nothing came from it. And I can't watch football that way to say after the result like this we didn't play well. There's been so many games where we create a gang of chances and just don't capitalize on them. That doesn't mean we didn't play well. I can't look at football that way. We were making chances, we're getting openings, we just weren't doing anything with it. We were turning them over and over again, but we just didn't get anything from it. So I thought we played well today, and we just couldn't capitalize on those moments and make the right passes, and a lot of that was frustrating. I think the moment a lot of people are talking about is where Naby squares up, and then I didn't know, but apparently, according to people I've heard talk on their channel, apparently Salah called for it, Naby, and that whole situation it was almost robotic how it happened. It wasn't. It didn't look natural. Him sort of leaving the ball for Salah to hit. I think Salah took a touch. It just messed it all up. But it is what it is, man. I go back to the Origi. I just don't know why he isn't coming on in this game, particularly from a manager who talks about how he's our best finisher, world-class striker. I'm so sorry I can't play him. You're losing him after this year. You're losing him after this year. I feel like I don't know how many games Origi has played in, how many appearances he's had. But I'd be interested to look into that stat. If anyone knows off the top of their head, I know that's random. But to say all those things about him, surely you could have put him in more situations. But whatever, this situation, this game against Spurs last night, you got to put him in. You have that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. You put him in over Jota, or you put him in before you bring Naby in. 4-2-4, whatever you got to do. I think we did go to 4-2-4, but it just seemed like it would make more sense to put Origi in. Maybe take Salah off or Mane. Neither one of them were really at their best today. So it's kind of your pick. But the fact that the idea that Origi doesn't see pitch on this game it's beyond me, to be honest, man. I just don't know how you don't put him on. I just don't know how he doesn't make it onto this game. But we gotta live with that. Klopp is the best. Klopp is the best doing it right now, and he's human and he's due for. He's allowed to have a mistake here or there. But I just don't like when he comes out and talks about the tactic of another team. Just go beat them. So what, they play that way. We've been able to, at least in my opinion, for the most part, move past this whole idea that we can't break those teams down. And today was one of those days where it just felt like we, I don't want to say we proved that we need something else because again, I think we have that. I think we have more than enough to break down those teams. I think Spurs did a really good job at doing it, and we did a really good job. Lucky for Spurs to squander certain moments that I feel in other games we do with our eyes closed. So thank God for Diaz again. I thought he was all over the pitch today, just trying to make things happen, in so many ways, whether it be facilitating things, just beating a man, getting past the man, having a shot. And it was that hunger that got the goal. As fortunate as it was, that's sometimes you gotta make your own luck. So, but that's me, man. Just wanted to come back and talk about that. I don't think anybody should get really too caught up about what people are saying on social media. You got your opinion, keep your opinion. Don't be triggered or bothered by someone else's opinion. It's cool. It is what it is. It's nothing wrong with having a debate about things, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I think that's fine. So, yeah, we keep it moving. But I definitely will be here tomorrow watching that Newcastle and City game. And look, let's just hope for the best. I know something happened with St. Maxima. Apparently did an interview with a French magazine. He says they blew it out of proportion. Hope that doesn't rock them, because that's a guy that, if I'm looking at that game, I'm looking for him to be a threat. Kyle Walker, I think, is out. I think St. Maxima comes up on that left side for Newcastle, and I'm pretty sure Kyle Walker plays right back, if I'm not mistaken. So, look, let's see. I mean, it definitely feels that it's going to be a more difficult time now. But again, these are the levels that these two teams have set. It would be totally different if one of the teams weren't one of the teams. I think City and Liverpool, we make each other better and just go after everything and make these margins so small. So to even pull this back, to even be a race and be as close as it is a great feat for Liverpool. And I hope that we finish the season and we get all the other trophies and don't get the Prem. If that happens, I hope that's something that people can look back and say there's still a phenomenal season, to get 3 cups, and not get the Prem. Obviously, that would complete the package. But look, it was always going to be really difficult. Now, I don't want to say impossible, but that's not something that happens often, that a team wins a quadruple in any league. So the fact that we've come this close, and it's still there, is still a major feat. And I just don't want people to lose sight of that. So anyway, I think I've talked enough. Thanks for the people who continue to leave comments, and drop by the channel. I appreciate it. Even if you're not thumbsing up the video, glad that you're stopping by. Appreciate it. Really do. It means a lot. At this point, I'm doing this just because I enjoy doing it. I enjoy kind of expressing how I feel about the team, and the few people who leave comments, I appreciate that. The correspondence is nice. But anyway, much love, guys. Let's hope tomorrow is a result that we're proud of, Newcastle.